Is XRP actually winning right now? Not on price, not on hype, but in positioning. Chip, because while traditional financial, I was going to say financial sectors, while
Jeez.
traditional financial, I'm messing up this whole intro.
We need a
here.
mulligan. Start over, Jeff. Start it from the top. From the top.
Start from the top. I'm gonna.
We'll cut that section out.
We're gonna cut that out, even though we're live. It's gonna be cut out.
We cut it on the replay.
Amazing. We're gonna cut it on the
3,
replay.
2,
Welcome.
1.
Go. Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain community? I'll tell you what's going on. Here's the big question I have for everybody. Is XRP actually winning right now? And I mean, not on price, not on hype, but in actual positioning. Because while traditional finance absorbs another credit shock, and we're going to talk about what's going on over in the UK, it is shook. Barclays and UK banks feeling pressure from a private lending collapse. What does that mean? Is a calamity in UK's future? I know it is politically. Ripple continues building institutional infrastructure, and at the same time, global tensions are escalating. Iran crisis deepens. Markets are feeling it. I don't know. Crypto markets are up. This isn't isolated. This is pressure across the system.
Yeah, when banks start showing stress, when credit exposure surfaces, when geopolitical instability rises, you don't look at the headlines separately. You have to really look at who's positioned when the old rails strain, Jeff.
That's it. And tonight, we're going to break it down as we always do. Come here. If you just want some hype and FOMO, I think you're on the wrong channel. If you want real news analysis, you guys want us to break it down, that's what we're going to do here. We're going to break things down. We're going to workshop it. We're going to talk about what's actually happening over there with Barclays and the UK bank pressure, why private credit for fragility actually does matter, and how on-chain transparency actually can change the risk equation, and whether XRP is quietly stepping into an advantage. Chip, I think that part's interesting. But if you're here again for speculation, this isn't it. Nope. If you're here to understand structural positioning, let's get into it.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Oh, where's everyone coming into tonight, this morning, wherever you're from Hawthorne, Florida? If you're saying hello, if you're just saying I'm off the grid for about 6 months, Jimmy the Meek.
Months off the grid, man.
That
that's
happens,
pretty good.
man. Yes, real news, baby. Real news, like we told you. So, sup, Vendetta is in the house.
We are the news.
We're the news now. We are all the news now. That's the best part. I mean, the mainstream media is losing market share. It's like, haven't they lost enough? No, they still have more ways to go until nobody watches them anymore. There's still a few devout, I don't know, people that love that. They love the propaganda, but what are you going to do? Pompey here in the house. There you go. And tonight we're going to kind of break it all down. There's so much going on. I mean, we could probably do a 5-hour show without even taking a breath, Jeff. There's so much like stuff. So sometimes you got to pick and choose. Like, what are we going to cover? What do we think we're going to cover? What do we actually cover, right? Because one comment inside of the chat could take us down a road we're planning on traveling down. And that's how it works. That's sometimes how it works. Hi, OTC. What's up? What up? And so I thought we'd kick it off here with Ellie Tarrant. Lots of new crypto folks jump into the defense of Patrick Witt. If you guys don't know Patrick Witt, now I had the chance to see Patrick Witt up and close and personal, 2 rows back from where he was sitting, where at Ripple Swell. And that was one of the I really enjoyed. I love this guy. He's on the president's team. He's the executive director of the President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets, deputy director, Department of War Office and Strategic Capital. It's funny because he kind of, I always think of him as like, that might be Eric Trump's long lost brother. He just kind of has this sort of vibe to him. He almost feels like a Trump. So Patrick Witt in the White House, following comments from an unnamed source, they're always unnamed sources, Jeff, claimed to be directly involved with the stablecoin yield talks. And then I shared the post and the crypto Twitter reaction with a banking side source that has direct knowledge. That's the other one they use. Somebody that has direct knowledge or an unnamed source of the negotiations. And they said that the bank trade representatives from ABA Bankers, this is the American Bankers Association, and also the Independent Community Banks, ICBA, also along with Bank Policy Institute, who attended last week's White House meeting We're perplexed by the characterization. Do not share the unnamed source's views. They have already relayed that to the White House. Additionally, they're unsure why the individual characterized the situation in such a nihilistic terms, noting that both sides are still having input on text, aren't necessarily living or dying by the March 1st deadline. And it's so funny. There's always somebody trying to throw a bomb in the middle of it, but it is nice to hear from these three biggest banking associations, Jeff, that are chiming in and saying, no, that's not what's going on at all. So who's trying to derail this? Like, who's trying to say it, with piss and vinegar all over the negotiations?
Yeah. They love, there's definitely entities that are at play that are trying to derail the financial ecosystem, and they really want to derail some positive progress, trying to put in all the negatives. So let's see that here.
And Jeff, take this one here, because this is the guy right here, senior writer over at Decrypt, and this is where they kind of call out Patrick Witt. Go ahead and take this one.
Yeah. So and this is important because we're talking about the stablecoin deal here. So the White House wanted a deal on stablecoin yield done by this weekend. Will that happen? No. A banking source with direct involvement tells me Patrick Witt made the unfortunate error of going out to the press and saying he'd get it done before March. Well, it's March 1st today. It's not going to get done before March, the source said. The crypto and bank lobbies are still far apart on the issue of yield, which is holding up a crypto market structure bill. Is there language circulating? Yes. Is the language close? No, the source said. We're not close to a bill. Now, this is interesting, how he's breaking all this stuff down. And here we go. We have two groups, two parties, and there's no commonality here. There's some discussion, but are they close? It doesn't seem like they are. Now he continues. I think that there's a very real likelihood that this thing's falling apart unless Brian Armstrong comes to the table, the source added, referring to the Coinbase CEO, who has been adamant that stable coins can generate yield for users. Now, this is actually, an important component here, because you should be able to generate yield off of a stable coin. You really, if you think about the fact of, gaining yield and holding your crypto assets someplace, I want more protection, if we're going to hold it. And if you have chaotic systems that are highly speculative, at least the stable coin is staying stable. And this is, kind of the point of what they're addressing here. It's like putting your USD in a bank account, not gaining your 0.5% interest that the bank gracefully is willing to give to us peons. Then the source emphasized that the banks want a deal here, but figure chances of passage could drop to near zero over this next month. Chip, what do you think they're debating? If you were to give an guesstimate, why is there a disconnect here, and what are the banks holding out for? Oh, you're muted. You muted.
I had to cough, and so I hit the cough sneeze button and didn't change it. But what I think is going on here is, we know the holdup is about earning the yield, but I think, both sides are inching closer, but I almost feel like saying well, Brian Armstrong's going to come save the day. Yeah, Brian Armstrong that bent the knee twice to the SEC. And then when Ripple won, then he was like Mr. Big Man pounding his chest, right? When it was convenient for him to be big man on campus, then he's like, oh, throwing around like, look at me, here's some bills for you, and I'm the man, right? But meanwhile, Ripple playing it close to the vest, like behind the scenes, having conversations, along with a lot of other people. It wasn't just, not just Ripple, but piss and vinegar doesn't get it done, right? The old saying, you can attract more bees with honey than you can with piss and vinegar. And so this guy going, oh, Brian Armstrong should come in and do it. But he's throwing bombs, and it's like, okay, you're not trying to piss off their side. You're trying to engage with them. So they're probably getting closer, but the banking cartel knows that if you can go over here, like with crypto, right? You say, I buy Bitcoin. Great. I bought Bitcoin at 126,000. Well, then it goes down to 60. You're like, oops. But your point, Jeff, is the stable coin stays paired to the USD. Yeah, the USD is going to fluctuate, but it still stays to the USD. And if you can earn 6, 8, 10% by going to an exchange or someplace else, now the banks can play the same game. How are they going to produce the yield, right? And most of the time you get such sleazy interest rate, and it's all convoluted, what you actually can earn. So the banks don't want the outflows. They're worried about so much money and capital that they position and make so much money on your money that when you actually need it, they give it to you. And if you need too much to take out of the bank, you have to let them know on your money, because they have it earning their own yield, 4 or 5% out here, but they don't want to give it back to you because that's the way they make money. So their whole thing is like, well, look at the outflows. You're going to have so many people who have money market accounts that are earning 4%, 3%, whatever. It's going to take all that money, hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of dollars. It's going to go now sit on an exchange because they can earn yield on it. So they are really worried about that. The thing is, they can play the same game, but they're monetizing on your money right now. So maybe the sides are getting closer. Maybe they're going to figure out what the yield could be. But that's a yes or no type of thing, Jeff. Yes, you can earn yield. No, you can't earn yield. So I don't know if there's any in between. I mean, do you think there's some in between thing? You're going to say, well, yeah, sure.
I don't know how there can be an in between.
No, it's either yes or
we
no.
have to be able to. Yeah, we have to be able to earn some form of a yield on stablecoin. Otherwise, what they're saying is the stablecoin will not get to a point transactionally where people are going to want to hold it long term. And so from a banking perspective, they need to find their path on how, you just brought it up, how do they make their revenue, from that stable coin, so how do they now compete with, let's say, a Coinbase? Coinbase is either becoming a bank or the bank is going to acquire Coinbase. Coinbase is going to acquire a bank. And this is what we talked about right from the beginning. Which one comes first? Do the crypto houses start bank acquisitions, or do the banks start crypto acquisitions? Everybody knows that crypto genie isn't going back in the bottle.
No.
The crypto genie is staying out. The stablecoin genie is staying out. Now it's a matter of, who is going to gain the benefit from revenue. Now, if the disconnect is, the bank doesn't get to touch it, and they want money off of it, like you just said, they need to find their source. Now they're going to find, their revenue from short-term lending and long-term loans, with your asset. So you put your asset there and they are able to lend out X% and only hold X%, but the stable coins are going to be a little different. So I think, there's more transparency. It's streamlined, it's efficient, and you should be able to transact with it 24/7. So are they going to put a hold period within their ecosystem? Can they put a hold period, in order for them to, whatever they need to do on their paper side, right? Because they still have short-term loans that they're paying you interest because they're lending at a higher rate. And so I think there's multiple factors that are going to be involved with this whole discourse, whether your money is being tied up, from retail or institutional, or however they're going to start paying yield off of it. There's so many factors. The banks want a piece of it. So which one comes first? I think we haven't really seen this,
Well, look at Coinbase has already transformed themselves into a brokerage that you can now you can purchase stocks on there now, right? So it's like it's the natural evolution. It's coming. Yep. They're probably gonna wait a little bit. A little bit too weird if Coinbase becomes a bank right now. It's like let's wait till some of this legislation gets passed, and then we'll go ahead and throw our hat over the thing.
But who do they buy? Does Coinbase buy a bank, or does a bank buy Coinbase? Who has enough money? Which bank has enough money right now to buy Coinbase?
Yeah, but it'd have to be some sort of a hostile takeover. I don't see they're going to be giving it up anytime soon. And then also there's it's regulated, so you have the it's a public company, so you have to do some kind of there'd have to be some shenanigans behind the scenes, somebody buying it up. But David Sachs commented on Ellie Territz about her, people jumping on the defense of Patrick Witt. And David Sachs, who is the crypto czar, says that Patrick Witt's doing an amazing job brokering a compromise between the banks and the crypto industry. No one is working harder to get market structure legislation across the finish line. And by the way, crypto has made major concessions on stable coin yield. Time for banks to reciprocate. And that's a good point. It's like, look, we're going to come a little bit. You got to give up something too. That's what compromise is about. It's not like we get our way, because at the end of the day, the banking cartel is not going to, you have to transform your business model. You making money, it's like this, that was the whole thing. It's like, oh, Friday at 5 o'clock, sorry, you'll have to wait till Monday afternoon to get your money. Meanwhile, on the weekend, we'll float your money and earn billions on it, at least millions, right? So And so look at Patrick Witt chimed in on what Brad said, which Brad said the door to the deal is wide open. The banks just need to act in good faith and walk through it, right? It's exactly what David Sachs is saying. Like, hey, they gave up a little bit. You got to give up a little. Let's try to get it done. Patrick Witt, boom, target hit. Perfect, right? So I love that. Yeah, so Luke Judges, I saw a great dinner post. It was David Schwartz and Luke Judges and a whole bunch of people from Ripple sitting at a table for the VIP dinner over at XRP Australia, which happened on Friday, which, Jeff, we were not there this year. 31 hours of travel is a lot for one day event. But so Luke Judges said he was commenting on First Squawk, which came out and said a new credit blow up in London has Wall Street chasing billions. And Luke Judges said, well, from Ripple, he said, well, pretty large default in UK lender MFS, Barclays, $600 million exposures, Jefferies, Santander, and Wells Fargo also appear to have exposure. Now, this next line is so key. On-chain collateral would have made this significantly more transparent. And it's another case for banks also having like this, like for on-chain collateral, because you would have seen this a lot sooner, right? It wouldn't have been like, oh, look at that, it's screwed up now. So what do you think about that as far as on-chain collateral, being on the blockchain versus,
yeah, I mean, right from the get-go, I think that we're going to start seeing that transition to putting the banking infrastructure over in a blockchain environment. I think it's going to happen naturally. Could it be more transparent? I think it potentially could be, but these are, still private entities, so are you going to see, they're private, but publicly traded. So from that perspective, there still needs to be a release of balance sheets, and maybe things would have been a little bit more revealed, potentially. It all depends on how they're hiding it. What exactly are they doing with the numbers? Well, I don't know. I mean, the stuff has to be transparent now. So would on-chain have made a difference to make it more collateral, or would it on-chain have made it more?
Yeah, I mean, it's transparent, but again, banks aren't necessarily going to be that transparent. But he's pointing it out. Like he says that Coinbase has the cheapest fees for me. That's why I use them. Then we have the counter of that. El Jefe is saying you can't pay me to use Coinbase. Well, you probably could. It depends how much money you want. And USDC withdrawals are free for the most part, which is pretty strong. So what do? Are you converting it to USDC and then doing getting it out? But then he follows it up and saying, I never cash out. I use the debit card and my spending source is USDC. Point of sale transactions only. Okay, that's interesting. That's kind of a cool way, because if you're using USDC, it transfers to USDC, and so that's all that's actually happening in the background. An interesting way to spend it. Try Caleb Brown, a real broker.
And there shouldn't be a gain off of the USDC. Are they seeing stablecoins as cash, or they still see it? I mean, there's no gain or loss with the USDC as you spend it.
What he's saying is that with the debit card and setting the source to USDC, because the fees are a lot less, right? So if the fees are almost next to zero, they're minor. It's a lot easier to do that than on crypto. So if you designated crypto, so that's a good, interesting strategy there too. Yeah. I still have BitTrue, but reluctant is. Yeah, so do I do too, but I'm like, no, thanks, man. I remember at the panic I had where I had a little bit of crypto on there. It's like, if you don't get it off tonight, it's gone forever. I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was like one of those things where I was like, thank God I saw that. Then we've got this one in.
You remember that? Yeah. Crazy.
That was like a panic. The real world asset watch list, Jeff. That's such a thing. Just in Control Alt, which is backed by Ripple, secured a $280 million diamond tokenization deal in the UAE. Luxury assets are officially moving on chain. Tokenization is expanding beyond traditional finance. Luke Judges said, don't tell my wife this is now on the XRPL. See what I said? That's it. I'm telling her. That's what I said right there. I'm telling her right now. look at King Valax. He's like, who cares? This is old news. It did absolutely nothing to the price.
Oh my God.
280 billion tokenized on the ledger, but I say it, nobody talks right.
This is a perfect example, that comment, of what we were talking about yesterday. that the majority of people that are holding XRP are strictly there from a speculative perspective, waiting for every little bit of news to be a price move. This is a perfect example.
100%.
You know, who cares? Is old news. It did nothing to the price. Okay, great. It didn't do anything to the price. It's progress, right? We're building, we're developing, we're moving towards a future. That's what you need to identify. We're, you know, the whole speculative, you know, move up and down. Are we going to hit another all-time high? It's going to happen. Bitcoin's sitting at 66,000. It's half of what its all-time high was. This is like, you know, when it was 20,000 back in 17 and it went down to 10 and then back down to 3. I mean, this is the place that we're sitting right now. And so all time Bitcoin goes over 125, the whole market's going to go up again, you know, so that puts XRP, you know, probably over, you know, $2-3 again, potentially, you know, the whole market is going to start moving. We're not there right now. It's
especially
not,
if we get this market structure build, it definitely will. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you got to give it some time.
Over the next 10, you know.
Reese Merrick said traditional finance meets digital access. The bridge can still be a little shaky. Managing a matrix of exchanges and bilateral risk isn't just a headache, it's an inefficiency tax on your capital. The new Ripple white paper introduces digital prime broker model, which is transforming complex risks into streamlined one-to-one relationships. And inside the blueprint, you can get a unified access, one portal, multiple views, scalability, infrastructure that grows with your AUM, and also efficiencies, which is collateral optimization. This is it, Jeff. You know how we're going to go through it today? Like this.
We're going to go through it line for line.
We're done.
We're going to analyze everything.
No, we just went through it. Look, watch. We do it again. Ready?
What? Well, let's
we'll go back the other way. How about that? Let's do it this way.
At least read the cover page.
Nope.
What does the cover page say?
Ain't got no time for that, Jeff.
Head cover.
Nobody
page.
Ain't got any
Blueprint for institutional digital asset trading.
Well, there it is.
I'm sure it's good. It exists.
It's a lot to read, Jeff. It's a lot to read.
It's a lot. It's way too much.
And brokerage and like I don't even know what this means.
It's a lot of interesting stuff.
I just throw this in the ChatGPT or Perplexity and just say, read this and tell me what's important.
Did you read it? Read it and give us like one paragraph on what it was about.
There isn't even one paragraph.
Just one.
And it's also for institutions. So guess what, Jeff?
Put in the ChatGPT and give us like the one elevator pitch sentence.
But you act like I care. I don't.
You should care.
I don't.
Because
I don't care. It's too much to read, man. If I wanted to read, I'd go back to school, Jeff.
On that.
I like to watch YouTube videos.
You've heard it here first.
Take it on a mortgage to buy more. You're right about that. I remember it glitched down to 11 cents and I missed it. I think I bought it at 14.
Man, if it goes down to 10 cents, that's it.
Jeff, don't you have a cool song about XRP?
Cool song about XRP.
XRP. Jeff, look at this right here. Look at this. I got a good review on my hair. I'm happy to hear that. Jimmy Young says, good.
Nice hair.
It's looking good. Yeah. I just got to cut again. I'm like working on it. We'll do the video where your head stays the same and mine's like bing, boom, ponytail, long, down, up. It's like the evolution over the last 6 years of all of my different hairstyles, man. It's been all over the damn place. Then I grew it out for 4 years and then I had to cut it. It was getting really rough.
All right.
For a while.
Wait, let me upload this. Hang on a second. See what you thinks.
You got to get it up. Go ahead and upload that, Jeff. Why don't you upload that for a second?
I'm going to try to upload it for a second.
I think what I would do is I'd try to upload it first. That's probably what I would do.
You think so?
I think I would.
Would you upload it or would you?
Yeah, I would.
They said it was dead. They said it was done. Now watch the shift.
Cranking it up, Jeff.
The recess begun. Banks feel pressure, pipes coat road. Barclays pivot when the old rail slow. 47 years of shadow flow. Follow that money, watch it close. Legacy wise can't keep pace. 10 seconds that'll clear that space. cross-border friction, erase. Liquidity move at machine gun pace. UK cracks in the backbone frame. Infrastructure stuck in yesterday's game. Meanwhile, XRP changed the lane. Global value move, no middleman chain. Slush funds dry when the light gets on. Dark roots fade when the trail gets drawn. Transparency cut where the lies were strong. New rails rise while the old fall wrong. Eyes XRP winning, look at the shift. Old world falling, paradigm lift. Pipes get cleared and the power flips. Block by block, that future hits. Eyes XRP winning, say it loud. Legacy systems losing ground. When the dust clears, who's still around? Digital rails run this town.
That's it.
I like it, man. Like it. Nice flow there.
I like that flow. I like that the intro,
especially that like that weird beat to like be going like rap it over like
yeah.
Sounds like it's taken from some I don't know, some operatic story or something.
Yeah, it wasn't expected, right?
I was like, what the hell? I was not expecting that. No, I was not expecting that at all. I thought it was be more singing or something. Visual Vendetta likes it though. He says dope.
James Taylor.
Well, it's definitely James Taylor all the way. James Taylor. What a funny kid. What a funny kid, man. James Taylor, 100%.
AD never call. Wouldn't it be funny if they wait too long and all the banks need the Nostro Vostro secure account money for bailout? That's interesting. Then all that money would be absorbed and vaporized.
Yeah, sorry, suckers. That would be funny. Not as funny as James Taylor. Pretty good.
Sorry,
Joe Buddy's got a 71-cent buy order in for 1,000. That's his lowest. Well, who knows, man? You could be revising that. Maybe we go down to 41 cents. We'll see. Remember, it was like 41 to 50 cents, 51, 55, 50, 43, 42. It was like for the longest damn time. It was crazy. It was crazy. AI music better than most pop, rap, and trap. Yeah,
you're right.
I'm doing some. Man, I'm loving it. Right. So we're gonna
your video up yet.
Let's do that. I made this song a while ago. I made this song probably about 6-8 months ago, experimenting to see if I could take part of it and put it in Japanese. And then I sent it to my friend, and my friend sent it to some native speakers, and they were like, "No, it's spot on." And I watched the view, like the listens go way up, right? And so I took it and I thought, I came up with a concept about the video, and I said, let me turn this into a music video. I was testing out some new AI tools. Since that's pretty much what I do now these days, make AI videos for people, commercials, anything you want to help people monetize and do shorts on. And here it is. This is called Rain and Light. But let's take a listen to this, guys. Turn the speakers up and let's watch. Here we go.
Melodies, rhythm, our heartbeat. In the rain, our love is sweet. 涙はやがて乾いてゆく。新しい朝が僕らを待つ。希望の光が差し込むとき、君と未来を描きたいんだ。Through the rain and all the pain, I'll find my way to you again. In the darkness, there's a light guiding me to hold you tight. 君と共に歩いてゆく。どんな雨も乗り越えて、未来へ続くこの道を信じて進むんだ。
Boom, and there it is. A little growl at the end there. Little growl at the
love
end.
that,
You
man.
guys probably don't know this, but yeah, my former background is a creative director, and I did spend a lot of time shooting stuff for. Did a show that aired on CNBC, and if I had to hire a crew, I mean, most of the shots that the heroes walking through, the main character, are shots that I took when I was in Japan in December. So it's amazing to watch those shots come to life with characters. I created these two characters, and then ran through the story. But it was a lot of fun to do this, and so because of that, I've got some other work that I'm working on. People see it, and they're like, okay, I need you to create this. So if you guys are looking for anything like that, if you guys are looking for commercials, videos for your promoting your your company or whatever, hit me up in a DM. But that was a lot of fun to work out and just kind of like get a story together and stuff. But yeah, no model release forums, no location people, no crew to go out there, no multiple crews. So not Matrix at all. No. That was me singing the lady part. That was actually Jeff. That's what people don't know. That was actually Jeff singing.
That was me.
That was Jeff singing it.
I did him a little bit.
Yeah.
The entertainment industry is over.
It's gonna be, yeah. I mean, it's really, it's not 100% yet, but it's pretty close to be able to, figure out the camera angles too. You have to like figure out like how you want to tell the story, and you can direct the AI to kind of do it. Sometimes it listens, and sometimes it does not, and you have to there's a lot of iterations, but some of the prompts are monsters. They're this long. Describe every little part of it. Not one Yeti in there. No, not one Yeti. There was a casting
couch, so you can't get in trouble.
Can't control. We can't win them all.
That's it.
Should have scored a grab at that one. There you go. Well, there you go. I got to enter in some contests, man. There's always some cool AI contests out there, because part of it's like tell a story without actually using the words. I have an English version that I'll probably spin up one. Just I have the words, the song in English too. People are like, I don't understand the words. I'm like, you don't have to understand the video. But anyway, Jeff, there's this big conflict going on with the in Iran right now, and it's funny to see just the reactions to it. But Trump put this update up just a little bit. Yeah, Trump put this update up a couple hours ago, so he's kind of updating on the on this whole what are they calling it? Operation something?
Epic Fury.
Epic Fury.
Epic Fury.
It is epic for sure. Here we go.
Over the past 36 hours, the United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it.
No, they have not.
We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile.
Remember when he said that when Khamenei dead, he died like a dog. Remember that one? He was like, died like a dog.
Man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now, again, the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do.
Unable, unwilling, all that.
Unable, unwilling, yeah.
Unable.
But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort.
Now, what people are forgetting here, mostly because they're tuned out of what's going on, they just want to react to what happened. But the last time I remember, this has been going on since Trump came into office, where he's been trying to say, like, hey, you got to give up all your nuclear stuff. And they're like, we're not. And then last May, he bombed a bunch of locations, took them out, and they have not stopped. They're continuing on. They say we're gonna build a nuclear weapon. There was also plans in the works too to, when they're yelling stuff like "death to America" and "we're gonna flatten you," and when they took out Maduro out of Venezuela, the supreme leader was shitposting on X, like, our enemies are gonna die, blah blah blah, all this kind of garbage, basically taunting. Okay, so they, when you're in harm's way, and look what they did. They fired. You think those missiles, they had the time to pick those locations? They hit Bahrain, they hit Saudi Arabia, they hit all Jordan, right? Do you think that was
started launching,
or was that already set? Was that
already set?
Yeah,
they already had that planned out. They definitely had
planning on.
They knew who they were attacking. They attacked the Sale Hotel in Dubai, the big 7-star hotel in Dubai that got hit. Yesterday,
they tried to hit the Burj Khalifa. They tried to hit the
Burj Khalifa. These guys, and I keep seeing this same concern over and over and over again. A lot from Europeans, but even from the leftists in this country, that those are your tax dollars at work. I thought Trump, was going to, not get us involved in wars. Trump is ending wars, right? The
100%.
whole, if we look at everything in a vacuum, maybe, life is perfect for people that live in a vacuum, but we don't live in a vacuum, right? We live in a long period of time. We have history, we have events that led up to our present day. And what we do previous and today will impact what happens in the future. Now, for the past 47 years, Iran has been fomenting terrorism on a global scale. They are financing terrorism. They are directly impacted into all of the sleeper cells throughout Europe, all of the sleeper cells throughout the United States. They financially backed Hamas. They financially backed Hezbollah. They financially backed multiple other terrorist organizations that have carried out terrorist attacks in Europe and the U.S. and have directly killed Americans, American soldiers, American citizens for all these years. No other president in the history has had the balls to actually end wars, mainly because they don't want to end wars. They wanted to continue wars. They wanted to continue the status quo. So here comes Trump. Trump comes in and he's actually putting a finality to all of these things that have led up to where we're at today. Do you think Obama was effective and impactful when he transferred billions of dollars over to the Iranians to stimulate more terrorism? Lebanon, Syria, both those countries impacted. Israel's impacted through the terror of Iran. Iraq was impacted from the terror of Iran. American soldiers and American citizens have been impacted for all of these years. So, whose fault was this? Right. There you go. Right there, Chip. That's a perfect.
Let me remind people too, because this one was fresh in my mind, Jeff. January 2016. If you remember, Obama was president back then. You had these two Navy riverine boats, had 10 sailors on it. They were basically moving from Kuwait over to Bahrain, and something happened. They had some sort of a navigation thing or something went off haywire on their ship. And so the Islamic forces, Iranian forces from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard boarded. They seized the boats. The sailors, remember, they had it on film. Sailors were held at gunpoint. They were detained on Farsi Island. And you know what happened? Nothing. Like, you can do that to our service members, board a boat, hold guns to their heads, threaten them, and use that as a propaganda video. This is the whole thing. If Trump's president, you're going to do that. And now Trump, so what I will say about Trump is he's fair. Why? With the legals, he said, listen, you can self-deport. You can get $3,000. You can self-deport, and then you can come in legally. We want you here. Come in legally. Apply and come in legally. Dude, no, there's not you tell me a country in Europe that lets you self-deport and then come back legally. You tell me anywhere on the planet Earth, well, maybe Europe, but Europe won't even deport. But let's just say, you tell me where you can do that, right? So what did he say? He said, put down your arms, you'll have immunity, but you have to surrender. If you don't, you're not going to be around long. You will be vanquished from the earth. So you have
the greatest president ever.
You have to love it from that standpoint alone. And, what surprised me was Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, just supporting it. He came out in support. Now, other parts of Canada were not so supportive, but here's what happened in Canada. Check this out. Here's Iranians.
Amazing.
Celebrating. Now, the very first one, one of the videos where they actually, because of the 3 killed service members, they went to the U.S. consulate and they laid down flowers, right? There's the U.S. consulate in Canada. They laid down.
U.S. Army, thank you! U.S. Army, thank you! U.S. Army, thank you! U.S. Army, thank you!
Well, they're all sitting out there. They're all Iranians. They're thanking. They've got flowers. They've got the Iranian flag. Proud people, right? Amazing. Here they are. Iranians are in Ottawa, Canada. But they're yelling.
This is the final battle. This is the final battle.
Yeah. So it's amazing to see, what was really going on, and of course. Yeah.
Trump flags waving in London. So Iranian, Persians are coming up in mass around the world, and it's amazing, And there we've seen where we've seen Iranian flags and Israeli flags coming together as they join because they're liberating the region, right? Iran is behind all of the terrorism and ill intent that has been taking place in the past in the Middle East that has created a lot of the tension and the escalation. So you start getting rid of that. There's so much more that needs to happen. But this is the fabric. All those that are against this action love the continuance. They love the talking points. They love the continuance of tension. They love the chaos. They don't want normalcy. The Democrats don't want normalcy. The left don't want normalcy. The Europeans definitely don't want normalcy. The British, forget it. The British love what's happening in the Middle East. They created this tension. They're the ones who pitted nation against nation. The British have so much blood on their hands in England, and somehow they've escaped it. They're sitting back in their parliament with their wigs and their British accents, drinking tea like somehow they're innocent over this whole thing. They created so much of this chaos, and it's amazing 100%. To me, and now they're suffering the consequences of it, Chip.
They really are. But Jeff, what is amazing, like there were so many videos I could pull, but I was just trying to give a breadth of like what's happening around the world. And this is what's really weird. So the two deepest blue cities in the United States, you have Los Angeles and New York. But here's Los Angeles, and check this out.
USA! USA! USA!
Look at that.
USA!
Yeah.
All right, here's New York City. Check this out.
Exactly. Make America, make Iran great. Right.
Thank you, Trump.
Love it. I love it. I love it.
Jeff, this one might
greatest thing on earth.
This next one might surprise you a little bit. Paris, of all places.
They're in Paris too. It's not everywhere. We should all be behind this. The greatest thing ever.
USA, thank you.
And the liberal media cannot handle this at all, Jeff. They tried so hard to condemn this. Listen, in Paris, they were yelling Bibi and Trump. Listen to this. That's all you can understand. The rest of it's French, but they're yelling Bibi and Trump. See Trump. You got the Israeli flag along with the Iranian flag, the United States flag. Make Iran great again.
By doing all this, Chip, it totally changes their narrative. They could have done things, similar to Obama gave them money. Obama wanted to, promoted the Islamification. But this is, you think about this, the spearhead, the kingpin of all of this, fascist behavior. But the left love, because the more chaos you have, the more people fall in along, their side. It kills me when you see all these leftists on YouTube and on X and in the media that are trying to somehow attack, Trump on this narrative. And it's they just liberated, who posted, they liberated, 40 million women. This is protecting the entire world. It's protecting the United States. Iran is a huge thorn in the side of right. U.S. security in the region and here at home. They know exactly what's happening. All these other, Monday morning quarterbacks who think they know what's happening, that look at everything in a vacuum, but never track back historically and try to analyze it. They'll just look at things in a vacuum. There's so much more that's going on. But this is a great
shooting in Austin, Texas. Muslim guy, right? Of course, had the Quran as he was, and he's one of those most corrupt, one of the biggest, most corrupt mosques in Texas itself. Here's Australia. This is a news anchor. Now, this is what she says. I'll tell you what she says after this because she doesn't say it in English.
Conclude this editorial with this message to the late Supreme Leader. پدر سگ خاک به سرت بسوز to Jahannam. Rowan.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
She basically said, "You son of a bitch, you can burn in hell."
I don't have anything right to add to
Who did you say that to? Say that again.
About she says, "I have a message for the late Supreme Leader."
Oh,
I want to conclude this editorial with this message to the late Supreme
Leader.
پدر سگ خاک به سرت بسوز to Jahannam.
She basically just said, "These guys like I can't have said it any better." She said, "Burn in hell, you son of a bitch." That's basically what she said. And then we had look at this in England. Check this out. Well, before I do that, I want to play the London one. So I have one. Do we have London here somewhere? Yeah, this is London right here. And then we're going to play. Then we'll go through some of the liberal cucks and why they're some of the dumbest people on earth. Here we go. Here's London.
You join me on Golders Green Road where the noise is really loud. Literally thousands of Iranians have come from across London, their communities in Finchley, and also coming up from the west end of London. This has been going on for about 2 hours right now. It's likely to continue for the next couple of hours. Quite extraordinary. The reason why they've come to the heart of the Jewish community is because the Iranians very much supported Israel in their war against Hamas, which of course is backed by the evil Revolutionary Guards and of course the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Now they see that the Israelis and the Americans have made a preempted strike against the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who is now reported to be dead. And thousands are coming down to Golders Green to show their solidarity with the Jewish community. And also, you see a lot of Israeli flags over here. You see the United States flags, and just people just in a celebratory mood at this point. They're called.
You know what you didn't see? You didn't see any. You didn't see any. You didn't see the Union Jack. You didn't see any of that shit over there. None of that. None of it.
Flags.
No
calling also for the Shah, the son of the Shah, to return back to Iran. I think that's a little bit premature at this point because the Iranian Revolutionary Guards are still quite strong on the streets as we speak right now.
Hold on there, Chester. That's going away. By the way, the new supposed leadership got in contact with Trump and said we want to talk, and he's like, "This isn't time for talking."
Yeah, no.
Right now we're going to continue on our mission.
Missiles are still being fired from Iran into Israel. A short time ago, they went across the country, including Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, the south, and also the north. But nevertheless, heavy traffic on Golders Green Road simply because Iranians have heard about what's taking place, and they are moving down towards, not finding a place to park, of course, but literally dropping off people, standing on the streets, waving flags, and you can hear the mood at the moment is really on its high.
It sounds jovial. It sounds like people are really enjoying what's going on over there, right?
Everywhere.
But check this out. This right here pretty much
definitely tried to blog it.
This right here, Jeff, pretty much takes the cake here. You got to see this. Let's look at this guy. This is a Labour Party MP.
The US from using Diego Garcia.
She says, "Did we block the U.S. from using Diego Garcia? Watch this cock."
US from using Diego Garcia.
I've just said to you, I'm simply not going to talk about, and you would not expect me to talk about the discussions we have either in the government or with our.
I believe that was a yes. I believe if I've got to interpret here, what he's trying to tell you is yes, we did. Because the other cock, the Keir Starmer, came out and started bloviating and saying a bunch of nothing, saying it had nothing to do with it.
Close allies, including the US. What we have done is strengthen British defences in the region. We stepped up with UK planes in the air as part of a coordinated.
In other words, we did nothing.
Regional defensive operation to protect our own people and our bases, to protect our allies.
To protect our people and our bases.
But they're going to protect their allies?
They weren't in jeopardy.
Who are their allies now?
Nobody even gives a shit about
in the region, and that is a special contribution and action that the UK is making.
Anyway, this guy goes on just saying a bunch of nothing, and she's like, "Look at it,"
and drink some tea. Calm down.
She keeps looking at him like, "What?" Look, watch this. This is going to be fun to watch.
It's unbelievable. This is the moment.
This is the guards' headquarters, by the way. So watch really close. There's not going to be any.
Be stepping up.
There's the guard headquarters, and it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's completely obliterated.
It was a guard
to the ground. That's the Islamic Guard. It's gone.
Gone.
It has been destroyed.
Time for them to go.
It's been destroyed. It's out of there, Jeff. It's not even. And listen to this. Here's a CNN report. Check this out. They have a Democrat to see what the Democrat thinks about it. Well, it didn't go the way they expected.
I think that it is imperative the Democratic Party wake up and get past their dislike of Donald Trump, the President Trump, and their feelings of international conflicts going on. This is about national security. This is about what is possible in the Middle East. This is about being a good neighbor, good partner to the Gulf states and what their aspirations are. This is about supporting the people of Venezuela. This is about dismembering our relationship with, or not dismembering, but resetting our relationship with China. Right now, 55% of the oil production that Iran produces goes to China despite sanctions. You want to support the people of Ukraine, you want to end that war, you have to. There is no getting around dismembering this Islamic Republic. It is non-negotiable. It is not a want to have, it is a have to have, and it's not just for the Iranian people. I think you have to trust the Iranian people. We know this government better than anyone else. When you dismember and decapitate this regime, you are going to see a change in the Middle East, in Venezuela, in China, in Ukraine. And I think, quite frankly, their ideology has really, it's caused a lot of problems for us worldwide. We need to take it seriously. And I think at this point, we have a tremendous opportunity. This will be like ending the Soviet Union, the Berlin Wall. This is a transformational moment for humankind, for security. And as an American, this is in our interest to complete it. So I am a Democrat. I have been a huge Democrat. I am incredibly disappointed with my party. I do not see myself in them in this moment.
Moj and Masi.
Moj, can you imagine that, Jeff? Like, a Democrat has to go on there and say, like, how are you against what's going on is what the essential thing is. How can you got to get over your hatred for Donald Trump and applaud the goodness that's happening. It's just insane, Jeff, that their people are, they're nuts. They're full on just nut jobs.
But all the points is then these are the pieces that people don't understand, is that Iran also, has interests in Venezuela. Iran also has interest in Cuba. Iran and China have interest. Iran and Russia have interest. You take down Iran, which is being propped up by Russia and China. So they're fighting all these proxy wars, with their support and their military support. You neuter Iran and basically just cut off all ties with Russia, China. And you have a new leadership that forms in Iran. The whole Middle East is reshaped. Everything moving forward, we're talking about stable peace in the Middle East. And we're also talking about all these leftist NGOs that are focused on toppling the West from within. Money is flowing from entities like Iran, government funded. And so now all that goes away. The world's going to start changing. And Trump is at the epicenter of global change. Why? Because it makes America better. America, number one, he said, we're the wealthiest. We're going to be the safest. Strategically, the whole world is coming together cohesively. But the rest of the world, the European leftist leadership, the Democrats in this country, Russia, China, they're all aligned on one vision. They want to continue the course that we're on right now because they can keep repeating the old stale lines over and over and over and over and over again. And these old stale lines of conflict, it's already behind it. Russia is gonna, the whole thing with Ukraine. And I saw other people saying, "Oh, what about Ukraine? What about Ukraine? It's time to end that too. Russia and Ukraine, stop. Just put an end to it. Cuba is next.
Russia contacted the U.S. and said, "Let's talk."
Yeah, exactly.
They
and
said,
Cuba's next. Every dictatorial regime right now is taking notice, because what is this global world, this entity that we're in? With all these dictators and all this fascism that's really taking place, not the fake, when they point fingers from the fascists, they point them to the ones that are fighting for freedom. The president that's fighting for freedom, Trump, and MAGA and the conservatives in this country and other countries that are trying to bring us back on track. When the fascists, the actual fascists, start pointing and calling you a fascist, you're on the right track. That's kind of where we're at.
Did you hear this? France is trying to surrender.
Yes.
How about Cuba? Mark Smithson says Cubans are 52nd state. Well, guess what?
It'll be a good protector.
Mark your calendars, people, because Cuba is next. Mark your calendars.
Definitely next.
It's coming. Here's a military official, Jeff. I want to see if you agree with what he says here or not. Is it too harsh? Not harsh enough? That's the problem.
The French.
Just Google French victories and you'll get the white flag, then the zero. Here we go. Here's a U.S. military official.
And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Damn. Whew. Brought it home there, Jeff. He brought it home.
He did. Oh, it's amazing.
What has killed me about this whole thing is the liberal headlines, the mainstream media. They're just completely out of touch with life.
Oh, without a doubt.
Look at this. So you remember Scott Adams, who's the Dilbert creator? Here's People magazine. Scott Adams, disgraced Dilbert creator, dies at 68. Right? Because he was a conservative. He was canceled, right? He had the best radio show going, Scott Adams.
That's right.
Now, here's the New York Times. Ayatollah al-Khamenei, hardline cleric who made Iran a regional power, dies at 86.
Right.
What in the absolute what, Jeff? This is how insane this media is. Now, look at this. This was flying over Los Angeles. Thank you, Trump, from the Iranian people.
Nice.
And a big heart. I mean, you got to love that, right? But here we go, Jeff. Now, what do you think Ursula von Leyen said? What do you think she said?
Good job.
Not even. No, that would have been a nice thing to say. But here's what she said. She said, following the ongoing situation in Iran, I'm convening a special security college on Monday because, today's Sunday and, it's my weekend. I can't really do much for my weekend. I'm out drinking wine all night, partying. For regional security and stability, it's one of the utmost importance that there's no further escalation through Iran's unjustified attacks on partners in the region. I mean, okay, whatever. Don't lose any sleep over it, okay, there, honey. I mean, So this is what somebody said. Here's the European Union. This was in the comments. Here's the European Union monitoring the situation closely.
No.
So it's Ursula von Leyen. It's France and UK. Oh my God!
So bad. It's really so bad when you see what's going on.
Now, Jeff, this one takes the cake. Now, here's the British media. I mean, the Canadian media. Look at this headline: Opinion: Donald Trump isn't the president of peace. He's the most dangerous man on the planet.
You know who's dangerous? People writing those articles that have influence, that are operating under a misguided form of they're definitely delusional, and they don't connect any dots. So these people write opinion pieces from an emotional state, similar to you and I were talking about, so the Candace Owens of the world and all those within the lineage, and the Hodge twins have been posting stuff, and like all these people are posting things, and it's at a point where they have such a massive following, but they're just spreading information that it's all emotional diatribe. It's not rooted in any factual research or anything. You know, it's crazy to me when you see it, and that's where a lot of these guys are coming from.
That's a good question. Mark Smithson's rising. Is Trump sending Talib to represent the U.S. at the Supreme Leader's funeral? He's going to send the two. How about this one? Trump is the Ayatollah of rock and rolla. And so here's the cuck that shows up here. Here he is. Keir Starmer gets out there. I mean, dude, sometimes it'd be better if you just keep your mouth shut because you're not helping causes. And by the way, there is 2.7 million views on this, 2,300 comments, 2,200, 999 are shut your mouth, you're a loser. This is my favorite comment about this whole Keir Starmer thing. She said, I love when this guy comes out like he did after a Venezuela strike to say the UK played no role. No shit, you're a complete nobody on the world stage. We know, you don't even have to keep telling us.
That's right.
She says you're a complete nobody. That's the greatest thing.
Nobody. He is a nobody. Unfortunately,
you know who Dave Portnoy is, right?
UK is really falling
from Barstool Sports. Dave Portnoy. So Dave Portnoy puts this out. He goes, I always laugh at yo-yos who don't have the first clue what information the president had that forced this decision. Even politicians who despise him, but were briefed on the situation, seem to agree with the operation. I guess a lot of podcasters know better. Smiley face.
Exactly.
Right? Got to keep the lights on somehow. I mean, borderline traitors, if you ask me.
I agree with that.
Iran is a terror nation with a long history of some of the worst human rights and atrocities in the world. Nobody disputes the fact they hate Americans, they hate Israel, they hate all Jews, they hate the West. They would kill us all if given the chance. They just murdered tens of thousands of their own people who are protesting. The rest of the Middle East is on our side. The Iranian people are on our side. It isn't complicated to support our troops and our country this morning. We are on the right side of God bless America. Of course, dumb Eric Swalwell.
Oh my God.
Clueless jerk off. Anyway, he says, stick to sports. You're at least half right there. Your whiny ass ain't going to Iran battlefield anytime soon. It'll be poor kids from where I grew up. Life must be pretty comfy and you're sweet. Stick to judging your favorite pizzas. The adults will sort out the wars. And
oh my God.
This response.
Swalwell says that.
He says, hey, Eric, I never heard of you, but a quick Google search said you were literally removed from the House Intelligence Committee for having your office infiltrated by a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. Can't even make it up. Maybe sit the national security lectures. Skip them. Let's set them out. Politicians, man. Politicians, man.
Oh, my God.
You got totally smoked on that one, Jeff. That's the greatest.
He totally. That's a
Jeff, if you get your calendar handy, this guy's raising a good question. This is what he has in his calendar. He's like, any suggestions for the rest of the year? January, Maduro cap, you know. Then they killed the what do you call it? The most notorious
in Mexico,
in Mexico, the cartel leader.
Yeah,
and then of course the supreme leader's dead in February. Like, geez, what does March look like, Jeff? And there's an extra week in March. Like, there's 5 weeks to make stuff happen in March.
I think Cuba's on the agenda. The Russia-Ukraine war come to an end. And there's also
one of my favorite actors of all time, and also the most intelligent guy I've ever seen. But James Wood says, Trump, Rubio, Hegseth. Who could ever have imagined the United States, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel could have joined together to end the worst terrorist regime in modern history? A stunning diplomatic, military, and humanitarian achievement. Turns out all we needed was a new president. That's all we needed.
That's exactly all we needed.
That was all we needed.
Elion is saying XRP in March. Come on. Mark Smith's in March. Deportation of Omar and Talib.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
March Madness. That's right. With March Madness, Cuba, Greenland, and Canada. So we get
the trifecta right there, baby.
51st, 52nd, and 53rd state. How about that?
I like that. Well, Trump put this message on. I was kind of surprised by it, especially what he's wearing here. But listen to this.
Salam alaikum, bitches. This is your new supreme leader speaking. Well, I warned Ali this would happen, and he just kept talking trash like we couldn't Maduro his old ass. Anyway, enjoy your new freedom, people. We're going to have bikini parties, all-you-can-eat buffets, dancing to country music, and singing karaoke all night long. We're going to have the best fiestas with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. If you're a woman, you can finally take off that ridiculous bedsheet these idiots made you wear. You're free to be smart and beautiful and to wear whatever you want. Under my regime, you can now vote, as long as you vote Republican. If you think about it, you can only vote Republican because there will be no Democrat Party here. Everything they touch turns to shit, believe me.
Pretty remarkable. Salam alaikum. That was the best ever. And then finally, we got one more video, and this is so timely. How does this stuff come out so fast?
I don't know how they do this.
I don't know how it happens so fast. I mean, this stuff is just at light speed. But here's Ariane Wexler. This is good. Check this out. She does a little bit on it.
I do want to make sure. I wish you a happy Ramadan tonight. Anyone celebrating? Yeah. Happy Ramadan. The former supreme leader of Iran, the Ayatollah Khomeini, is looking up my skirt from hell right now. That man was shitposting the last few weeks. A few weeks ago, right after we had captured Maduro, he was tweeting out a bunch of stuff to bait Trump. I remember one of the tweets was, "We will bring the enemy to its knees." And my first thought was, bro, you might want to lay low right now, you know what I mean? Like, you saw what we just did to that other guy? But my second thought on that tweet specifically was, it's kind of gay, right? Bring the enemy to its knees. I guess I'm not so surprised that it was kind of gay, because this is a man who's part of a regime that decided to take the most beautiful women in the world, right? Like Persian women, so beautiful, the Latinas of the Middle East, you know? And they looked at them and they were like, oh, no, ew, gross, like cover them up, you know? Like, we don't like that. That's probably why he got along so well with our first gay president, Barack Obama.
That's brutal, man. That guy Ben, we always play on here. His was even too brutal for here. It was brutal, man. I was like, okay, that might be even too much for OTC to play, but man, it was something. It was something extraordinary to think about. I thought that was really solid.
She is funny, yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Yeah, Jim D is saying there's actually feasting. So the month of Ramadan, they fast all day, and it's basically sunset to sunrise they can eat, and then sunrise to sunset they don't eat.
Right. And then over in the UK, you're starting to see the tide turn. I don't have the video, but it was during one of the football matches over there, and they took a pause so that
they were not happy about that.
They were booing them so that they could break their fast. They were booing, like, why would you stop a football game for that? Jesus, right. And something I wanted to cover last night, because this whole thing about Anthropic came up, right? And people are misunderstanding.
We haven't really talked about this.
They're really kind of missing Anthropic. But this right here, Dario Amodei, who's their CEO, you know, Trump called him every name in the book, you know, leftist, nut jobs, whatever. But here, check this out. So he says, holy F, Dario Amodei is literally retarded. So a defense official said that the Pentagon's technology chief whittled the debate down to a life and death nuclear scenario at a meeting last month. And if intercontinental ballistic missile was launched at the United States, could the military use Anthropic's Claude AI system to help shoot it down? It's the kind of situation where technological might and speed could be critical to detection and counterstrike, with the time to make a decision measured in minutes and seconds. Anthropic's chief executive, Dario Amodei, said his answer rattled the Pentagon. According to the official, who characterized the CEO's reply as, "You could call us and we'll work it out." So do you think for a second the U.S. is going to do business with a company that says, call us and we'll work it out on a life and death situation? So Chamath Palihapitiya, who is on one of the most awesome podcasts out there, he said, no elected official or CEO can work with a company on a critical technology if this is the response. Right. It's insane. So it was very much mischaracterized across, of course, the mainstream media. They brought it down to, well, it's two things. You can't shoot things that are, you can't control weapons that are not a person in the loop. That was one of them. Well, here's the perfect scenario. What about the person in the loop if you're going to use it to help an attack, right? So the whole thing is just retarded, Jeff.
And Anthropic basically sabotaging their entire existence at that point.
Well, they're also going to, so that means that no government official. What it also means is that enterprise companies that are already doing business with the government now
are going to have to stop you.
That doesn't mean that there's nothing legally that says they have to But what's that look like if you're using their software and you're doing business with the U.S. government, right? So you know that they're all the enterprises using Anthropic are going to cut it. So I'm not as happy with them choosing OpenAI because Grok is a better solution because somebody went through Gemini, which is Google's solution, Anthropic, and Perplexity, and obviously OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, and then Grok, and it said, was the strike on Iran necessary? Yes or no? The only one that said yes was Grok. The all other ones said no. So it tells you, do you want to work with those AIs, which are trained to be leftist, nut jobs? So.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Smithson said, I heard free Palestine endlessly from the paid cupcakes, but never heard once free Iran.
That's
that
right.
is 100%. And when we know 13,000 died, that's the number. That's the Iran number. Okay. We know 30,000 people got killed and slaughtered. There wasn't one protest, to your point, Mark. There wasn't one person yelling. Because, you know why? Because no one paid for the free Iran protest. Nobody's paying for that. Nobody said, hey, we got a free Iran. It's amazing.
We don't. Like I said, we don't need no blue-haired AI. That's right.
No, we don't. With the nose ring, that's like the telltale sign every time, isn't it?
Oh my God, blue hair and a nose ring.
Persian women are beautiful but tough. Don't do them wrong, or you're busted. True story, dude. True story. They are the Latinas.
And it could be, yeah, Jim. Listen, it could be on 90,000.
I'm married to a Latina who's half Chilean and half Colombian. Okay, I know. Just gotta go find something else to do once in a while. Or 90,000, yeah, it's probably about. It could be closer to the number because they basically wiped out a lot of the protesters.
Yep.
And again, nobody. There wasn't one tear shed. It wasn't covered anywhere. Nobody cares. That's why these people are all so full of shit. When it really mattered, because the Iranian people are amazing. It's not an Islamic country at all. And when the Shah got taken out in '79. Conveniently, here comes Ayatollah Khomeini rolling in on an Air France plane.
On Air France of all planes, right?
Yeah, well, that's a big surprise too. But those countries are doomed if they don't make the. You know who's not going to be saved by the America? France and the UK. But sorry, you guys got to figure this shit out yourself, man. But maybe after 50 years of persecution and destroying your country,
yeah, we will in the future.
You won't even recognize Big Ben. The clock will be broken. There'll be graffiti all over it. There'll be, dirt in the streets, garbage. I just don't know why you can't go. Why do they have to go to Christian and Jewish countries? Why don't they just go to move? They can't move to other Muslim countries because they don't want them. The rabble rousers. Right.
Nobody wants them.
But dude, Saudi Arabia was the most amazing thing. So Saudi Arabia, they hit the base in Saudi Arabia. It's an American base, and Saudi Arabia said, "F this." And they started firing. I mean, you got to say how amazing that is. Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel grouping together, the love and all. And then you got all the left nut jobs out there going, everybody does it for Israel and everything. Well, yeah, Israel's part of the mission, but let's not make any mistakes. And I saw how they attacked and what they did was so precision and so amazing how they took out their systems. One thing Russia, right immediately after that's like, let's have a conversation because they know that the technology the U.S. has. They have Chinese and Russian air defense. They got taken out in Venezuela. They got taken out in. So what does that tell you? They're not going to save you, man. They're not going to help you. So big bad. You want to mess with the U.S.? F around, find out.
It's amazing, Chip, because Cuba's definitely next. As we start looking at those power, and then who's left? I mean, Russia will get in line because Russia's got to balance things out. The next one is North Korea. North Korea also is a rabble rouser. I mean, they're kind of isolated. They're an isolationist country, but it's gonna Pakistan, Afghanistan. There's obviously others that will get in line, but the region is going to have more influence as all the other countries start benefiting from one another and have trade and cooperation. And Iran starts really building up and supporting the region. They've got Afghanistan on their border, and so there's going to be some trials and tribulation there with Afghanistan. So yeah, no Yeti drawing this evening.
Did you see what? Did you see what Trump reposted? That song, "Bomb, Bomb, 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 Iran." It's just too much. It really is. I wanted to play. Where was Fetterman? Had a good. Let me see if I can show you Fetterman.
Fetterman too. Fetterman has stepped up to the plate.
I followed him. I'm like, I gotta follow this guy, man. I just cannot understand. Yeah, he was just going off on. Basically, it said that it was. I can't find it right now, but it said something like, one of the Supreme Leader. He goes, "Let's see who cries for this scumbag," or something like that. Who sheds a tear for this scumbag? Well, your entire party, unfortunately, there, Mr. Fetterman. I mean, sorry, Senator. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but that's
unfortunately it's true. That was the case. Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but true. They're coming to their defense between the Democrats, the leftists, and the libertarians.
Yeah, he had to. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's all the time we got, Jeff. We got to bail out of here.
Yeah,
guys, really appreciate you guys coming in. A lot of serious topics we talked about. That's how it works. Yeah, Rand Paul, Massey, those other numbnuts. Yeah, with the Dems. Yeah, Massey's such a douchebag. He's like, I was the one talking about the Epstein. Dude, the Epstein list is out there. What are you talking about, moron?
Exactly.
That guy's such a douche. Such a loser. Another rhino.
Well, Iran's got lots of. They have lots of oil. Between Iran and Venezuela. China's going to be in trouble. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting.
It is, Jeff. It's going to be something.
Venezuela and Iran oil, not going to China, not going to Russia. But Rand Paul, Massey, man, those guys.
Douchebags. Douches.
Complete.
They're about as douchebag as it comes, Jeff.
It's just so amazing. So amazing.
So freaking unbelievable.
There you go. There's going to be a lot of things happening over in Iran. It's going to be an amazing country. Get rid of all the burqas and hijabs or whatever they're going to wear over there. Everyone will.
Well, they're all taking them off anyway. They don't care. But the thing is, it isn't over. They're going to be. Trump said it's going on for the next month, so they'll be hitting all key things, taking out all the leadership. And he said, "Look, you lay down your weapons, you'll get immunity. You don't, you're done." And they're not going to surrender because they're.
He didn't say you're done. He said you're dead.
That's what he said. But I mean, that means you're muerto. That means you're dead, Jeff. So it's like,
that's it.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have. We'll see you guys Saturday morning. Have a great rest of your week, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more to talk about on Saturday.
Wednesday,
Saturday, close enough.
Wednesday night.
I may not see you on Wednesday. I might not be able to make the Wednesday show. We'll see.
Wednesday.
So we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Still, there'll be plenty to talk about.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hey, it's right. See you guys in the next one. Jeff, ow. Jeff, ow. Jeff, ow. Hey, Jeff.
Did that work?
It did. I had it queued up. So here we go.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.